Hey everyone, this is the story of how Venisa and I met. Actually, I honestly don't remember the first time I met Venisa. I just know we met at salsa, and I remember asking my friend Jason, what was her name again? Venisa, Vanessa, I don't know.
It was the same experience for me. There were a few guys I met at the same time. I vaguely remember his name and thought it could have been Barry, Gary, or Larry.
Anyway, we were only acquaintances at first, but it wasn't until we started instant messaging on one random day when I really got to know her better. As we started chatting more, she mentioned that she was going on a trip to Peru with her friends, and for some reason she asked me to go. I was a little hesitant at first, but after some thought, a lot of thinking, I agreed to go, and I figured, yeah, why not? It's on my bucket list anyways. I even remember before I paid, I still had second thoughts because the trip came out to about $7,000 or something.
No, it was only $2,900 to be exact. And I was waiting and waiting. I mean, I wasn't trying to pressure him, but he was taking a long time to decide. All my other friends were confirmed already at that time.
So once I confirmed, Venisa decided to organize a get-together with the other friends that she was planning to go, just so that we can all get to know each other. I just remember at the get-together, she was just being really chatty, like way too much talking and non-stop, you know. I actually found her a little bit annoying. And she was also wearing this fur jacket. Like it was just, I don't know what it was, but it just looked like she was wearing an animal on her.
It was actually a faux fur vest from Zara and a very fashionable piece of clothing. But I guess Gary wouldn't know or appreciate it. And I wasn't trying to be chatty. I was just trying to make sure everyone on the trip is comfortable with each other before we go. I felt that it was really my job to keep the conversation going and lively. Nothing wrong with that.
I was thinking to myself, if she kept talking like this, I don't know if I could get through this whole trip. So fast forward to the beginning of the trip. It was finally time to go to Peru. Part of our trip required a 3.5-day hike to Machu Picchu on the Inca Trail. And along that hike, I got really sick. Whether if it was altitude sickness or something, I just got really sick. And I just remembered one time, Venisa said,
Hey, let's all take a picture.
And I said, we need to take it now because I'm gonna throw up right now because I'm so sick. And she finally took the picture, and lo and behold, I quickly threw up. Thank goodness for good friends. When I was really sick, I had this high fever and I had the chills. So I ended up staying with two of the other guys. You can guess who they are. Who kept me warm throughout the whole night. Thanks, Thomas and Casper. Thanks, guy friends. Even though it was a bad experience, actually it was a really horrible experience, I just remembered Venisa was being really caring and very attentive. Every time I was walking, she would always walk beside me and walk alongside me, and she just really took care of me, was really concerned about my health and well-being.
I just felt really bad for you, and especially because you looked quite fit, and so I thought you were the strongest out of all of us, but instead you were the only one that felt sick and everyone else was fine. I just remembered that he had an option to go back on a donkey or continue with the trail midway through our 4-day hike. To my surprise, he decided to continue even though he wasn't feeling any better, and so I thought that he had pretty good qualities and is able to finish what he started. Quite impressive.
So after 3.5 days of brutal hiking, we finally made it to Machu Picchu. What an accomplishment. Check off the bucket list. So how it really started, the signs.
You mean when you had feelings for me?
Well, it was the first time I noticed her noticing me, that there was a lot of signs. There was one really clear sign that I remembered. We were having one of our group meals in a tent, and there were a couple of our friends sitting down already. There were also a lot of empty seats. And when I went to the tent, I sat down on one side of the table. There was one seat beside me, and I thought to myself, if Venisa comes in and sits beside me, there's gotta be something going on. And lo and behold, when she came in to sit down, she walked all the way around the table just to sit beside me. Okay, there's something going on for sure. So one last obvious thing that happened was at the end of the hike to Machu Picchu. We had to take a long van ride back to the main city, and when it came time to get into the van, I sat in first, and guess who comes in after me? You guessed it, Venisa. The van ride was about 2-3 hours long, and I just remember she kept putting her head on my shoulder, and her hand kept creeping up to mine.
Hold on, I was tired and fell asleep. The head thing was unintentional and definitely no hand creeping.
Well, anyway, the hand creeping got to a point where we started touching pinkies, and then I thought to myself, I really want to just hold her hand. And for a good 45 minutes, I was contemplating whether if I should just go for it. And then it dawned to me, just do it. And I did. And it was the greatest feeling ever. And that's how it all started. We won't bore you with the rest of the details, but we went on a couple trips after. NYC, Vietnam, Laos, Chicago, Taiwan. Then I moved to Hong Kong, and then fast forward till today. Today is our anniversary, and moving forward will also be our wedding anniversary.
Thanks for watching, everyone.